Hello everyone, this is Lam. Thank you for watching this video. This is actually an old pour from last May, and I never got around to post this, and it's been almost a year, and I'm cleaning out my iPhone memory and just found this, and I think it is still worth posting. So here it is, a 11 by 14 small canvas, and I am loading up my usual flip cup, starting with the deepest purple and going down to the blues and adding some white in between. And I am actually doing an experiment again. So this time I'm just using mostly flat craft paint. Only gold is the metallic. So I do my flip cup without a white base, because I already have some white in the cup. And what I'm trying to do is to make a background, because I want to make flowers. Okay, so I did this one cup, and I'm trying to maybe start making some patterns, but maybe not. Just tilt it out. And this looks a little bit stretching too thin now. I don't have enough paint on this canvas. See, I barely covered this corner, and I try to stretch it to the other corner. It's just not working quite well. See, if I really try, I could probably make it work, but it is just not doing it. So I quickly load up another flip cup. See, the reason why I use such a small cup is that I don't want the background to be too thick, but now it's just not enough. So I do the other cup, and yeah, just about the same way as the first cup. And I stir it a little bit to make it a little bit dirty and flip it. Now that's better. And that makes the pattern a little bit more interesting too. Even though I'm just making a background for my flowers, I still want it to be somewhat interesting, because I am not one for playing backgrounds. I'm not for playing anything, let's face it. I like very busy designs. Okay, so the canvas is covered. Now I'm looking at it this way, well, torching it, making sure most of the bubbles out. And since I want to make flowers, I'm trying to find the best orientation for the canvas for me to do that. Okay, I decided to try this way. No, maybe the other way. Okay, it works better. Now the flowers I'm going to make today are irises. And the reason I want to make them was because it was May. It was in the middle of pandemic lockdown. The spa that I work in was closed down. I'm a massage therapist, and I couldn't work at my regular spa. And at that time, one of my friends asked me to help her out in her spa, so I went there to work. And there in her room is a beautiful print of a watercolor iris painting. And I look at it every time I gave a massage. I stare at it and how beautiful it is, how the leaves and the flowers. And at that time, I just started art school, so I didn't know how to paint flowers yet. But I was thinking maybe I can do something like that in fruit art. So that's what I'm trying to do. See, I use some various shades of green, and I use a thin piece of plastic. It's just a cut out strip of file separator that I just cut out, and I just use it to dip in the green and swipe. And that's how I mimic the leaves of the iris. See, I started with a slightly darker shade of green, and now I am moving into a lighter shade, more yellowish tone of green, because the leaves at the front needs to have brighter colors. So I was wiping away and was quite happy. Probably a little bit too happy, so I maybe overdid the leaves a bit. They're looking nice. I think they look pretty nice. However, where am I going to put the flowers? I wasn't thinking about that. So I made all these leaves. Now it's time to put the flowers down. It was like, oh shoot, there is not a lot of space. And I already made these leaves so nice, I don't want to disturb them. So I have to put the flowers way up there. Now, it may be boring on camera because I am off camera trying to get my strings and my scissors, like everything ready. And it takes a while, and what I'm trying to do is to use string pull to make irises, and I have seen people do that. So and I'm not trying to copy somebody else's, but I just want to make flowers. Especially at that time I looked at that beautiful watercolor iris painting every day, and I was just mesmerized by the beauty of those irises. So I want to replicate maybe just a fraction of it. And really at that time it was kind of, I really miss working, and I really miss the spa that I've worked in for 13 years. And the state just closes down at lockdown one day, I was out of a job. And I was really grateful that I had the opportunity to work, I was just calling, on call for my friend's spa, but I was really grateful to have the opportunity to work again. However, I wasn't really happy working there. But I think at this time, art really came into my, really saved me. That whole lockdown period, I would have been pretty depressed were it not for art. Anyway, so you see how I'm making this iris flower, one petal at a time. I'm just putting down a white outline, and then some gold and some of the purplish color, and then I do the string pull one side at a time. So I follow the outline and I pull from the middle, and then I do the other side, follow the outline and pull in the middle. And as usual, String pole is time consuming. It's a slow process. And also, this is why I try to make the background thin. I mean, when it comes to the physical thickness of the paint, I want it to be thin so that when I pull, it doesn't have as much paint, like all pull at the end of the pole. So this way it works better. And so this is a petal on the side, so it's thin, so I needed to be extra careful. I almost wiped it all out, so I'm making it maybe a little bit thicker, just a tiny bit thicker, so I had some more to pull. See, when I was staring at that iris painting, I spent a lot of time analyzing the shapes of the flowers, and I also went online to look at pictures of real irises, just to see how their shapes are, how their petals fall and unfold, and they are so graceful. And I think fruit art can really make beautiful irises, because the natural flow of the string poles are already so graceful. And also the color gradients, when we do it right, it's just, you cannot produce it any other way. That's why I keep coming back to fruit art. Even though nowadays I am doing a lot of mixed media paintings, I am spending most of my time on that, but I would still do a pour here and there just to keep myself in the flow, in the moment, because sometimes we just need to play. And fruit art to me is play. And like, look at that. Oh, I love how this petal came out. Okay, I had to dab a little bit off the excess paint, but still, look at the effortless grace. I mean, if I had to paint that, I mean, it would be work to produce this kind of, curve and pattern and color gradients, and it would not look as natural. Okay, here I'm doing this big one in the middle, and I had to be very careful so that it doesn't disturb the two on the side. Okay, I have done one half of this petal. Let's finish the other half. Okay, look at that. That is a complete flower. Oh, look at that. I really like that. I mean, it's just awesome that this kind of images that fruit art can produce. Okay, I'm just dabbing a bamboo stick in the green to make a stem for the flower. I mean, it is not strictly necessary, but I think it is a good touch. No, I tried using a string, but it doesn't work that well. It's bamboo stick works better. I was just trying to make a thicker line, but I still just want I think I have more control with the bamboo stick. And the bamboo stick is pointier than popsicle stick. So that's why I like it so much. Okay, I'm just fixing the middle of that flower a little bit. And I really don't need to do much to it. It already looks quite pretty. So I have one flower here. What do I do with the next one? Because I think I need one more. I have so many leaves at the bottom, and then just have one flower. It just looks too lonely. Okay, so I start making the other one. Naturally, this one has to be lower. Because good composition needs variety, and it's best to have varieties in shapes, varieties in colors, varieties in values, varieties in positioning. But here, since I am using more or less the same palette, so both flowers will be more or less, the same color. So, and then also the way I'm pulling them, they probably end up about the same size. And so if I cannot have varieties in those, then I need to have variety in positions. And also I'm trying to make this one kind of face a little bit at an angle, because the top one is faced kind of straight up but a little bit to the left. So I want this to point to the right. So I was thinking about these when I position the outlines for the petals. Okay, look at that beautiful curve. And look at that elegant shape. That's why I love string pulls, even though it takes so long. Okay, this one I'm trying to do a little section of a petal at the back, behind that leaf. That's why it's so small. But I think it works. Okay, so the usual anatomy of an iris is 3 petals at the bottom and 3 on the top standing up. So I have done the 3 at the bottom. I need to do the 3 at the top. Okay, so my white outline. And this is the fruit art version of sketching an image. Okay, gold. Another gold. There. This one is a little bit fatter than I would like, but it's okay. It works. just need to fix this side a little bit. Okay. There. Actually, what I was doing, I was putting those purples down is to provide the outline of the middle one. Okay, I'm doing this one on the right, no, on the left, sorry. Okay, this turned out to be a little bit too small for my liking. So add a little bit more and pull again. And the good thing about string pull is that if you mess up, you just add some paint and pull again. Of course, the second pull will be bigger than the first one, ever so slightly, or you can make it as big as you want, but you just cannot make it smaller. It is okay. So I'm doing the petal in the middle now. And really, it is the same process. It's just a matter of outlining them different, and then you just pull. The concept itself is very straightforward, and I think anyone can do it. I think that's quite pretty. Okay, time to make stem. And there's already so much green there, but still, it is good to have that little touch to it. Because the devil is in the details. Okay, so I think that's it. There's no room for me to make any more flowers. And I think that looks quite lovely. I like it. So here's close up to the finished painting while it's still wet. Look at the flowers. And even though I have made so many flowers, these two are one of my favorites. And this painting is actually on my wall right now. I just love it. I don't know why I never got to post this video before, but late is better than never. And here is what it looks like dry. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.